fruits. Fake fruits. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar. You liar.
All right, folks, liars, every last one of them. At the state, at the federal, international, they're all liars. Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel, where, well, I want to give facts and truth. I am so sick of these liars. I might use a couple of bad words today. I might seem a little angry if I kind of rant a bit. It just might, just a little bit. But I hope you are prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense, because it is getting closer and a lot faster to some very, very bad things happening. I want to start with the war between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia. The globalist World Economic Forum, European Union, NATO fucking leaders, quote, harbor profound distrust of Trump's peace efforts. Yeah, that was stated by Germany's mainstream media. Oh, yeah. Now, of course, just recently also, the German leader threatened Russia directly and said they'll go to war directly with Russia because they don't like how the U.S. is conducting its peace process. These people, folks, are retarded. They're retarded. They're giving Tim Walz a run for his money. These stupid fucking Europeans are choosing death if they run this route. And Sun Tzu said, an evil leader will burn down their own nation in order to rule over its ashes. If there's no other way, which is what this implies. If there's no other way, an evil leader will burn their own country just to rule over nothing but ashes. In modern parlance, we call that scorched earth, where they just burn everything to the fucking ground. That's what these people are. So I've got a companion story that comes from, the alternative media that says there's a call that went between European leaders, Macron and others, and Zelensky. And the call has been leaked. France's Emmanuel Macron says, quote, the U.S. will betray Kiev. And Germany's leader, Merz, says Trump's team is playing games. Now, I think they're all fucking liars. Every last one of these people are liars. They'll say one thing one day, am I right? And a completely opposite thing the next day. And we're supposed to believe that they're telling the truth in both cases? No, that's all they do is lie. And these lies, folks, they're going to lead to nothing but trouble. Look, if you want to be a warmongering piece of shit, at least be honest about it. No, they can't even do that. They can't even, like the Israelis will go on TV inside their own country in their little special language they created and talk about how it's good to murder babies and children and kill everyone. And this is a great opportunity to destroy the Palestinians. And then they'll go on English-speaking channels and European channels and networks and completely pretend like they give a shit and that they're not killing everybody. Once again, I'm no lover of all these Middle Eastern fanatics that are Muslims, but I certainly don't approve of anything from the other side either. They're all a bunch of Middle Eastern fucking wackos, and they're all liars, folks. They're all liars. Well, I hope you're warmed up, because it's just going to get nastier here as I dig into what all of these people are pushing you and me and all of America, and indeed the whole world, into this arena of death that's coming. And have we or have we not in times past referred to in America the Democrat Party as the cult of death, because they love it. They love transgenderism, which makes one sterile. It's death. Abortion, which kills babies, death. They push for violence against anyone that they don't like, calling them Nazis, white supremacists, Hitler, death, death, and death. That's who these people are, folks. That's who these people are, all of them. But it's not just Democrats, and it's not just in America. It's around the world. It is truly around the world. Let's do it, folks. Let's get into it. Let's go a little bit local here. We're going to go to California. This is a Gateway Pundit headline. California's Attorney General, Democrat Rob Bonta, announces online portal to dox and report ICE activity in order to protect illegal aliens. That's the headline. And because here's the problem with this. It's bad enough he said it. It will be worse if they do it. It'll be worse yet if ICE is attacked and murdered further because of shit like this. But it's because neither the FBI loser, Kash Patel, nor the loser, Attorney General Bimbo Bitch Bondi, because neither will arrest anybody. This asshole Attorney General from California is going to mouth off and put lives at risk while border enforcement takes place. This is what I have to say. Fuck all these communist, fascist fucks in all governments everywhere. Have no doubts, my friends. Doubt me not. This is going to have to get very messy to fix. If you want a lesson from history, go back to the 1920s in Germany and then the 1930s in Germany, and you'll see it. Go 100 years back and look at the pre-communist Russia and then what happened after the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, and you'll see what these left-wing communist fascist mentality types, they're completely authoritarian. Completely authoritarian, and they'll kill everybody and anything. Take a look at what history wants to tell you. Of course, you can decide if it's true or not. You can decide if it applies or not. But we all need to be very aware, folks, of who is running the show. Right? My faith in the Republican Party is shattered. The MAGA movement is fucking confused and incapable of a constant stream of thought, which should be America first. Your neighbors who are Democrats will rat you out in a fucking second. Oh, it's going to get messy, folks. Very messy. And it's also being prompted by external forces, meaning lobby groups, foreign nations, and foreign corporations which are extremely powerful that are pushing for the death of all of us. For example, the CEO of Palantir, this jackass butt snarf is named Alex Karp. Yeah, and I have a little bit of, disagreement with him. This is what he says. Quote, "Our country has empathy for everybody but working class, particularly white males." I guess Alex Karp is not American. I guess Alex Karp isn't white. Well, I guess a statement like this: our country has empathy for everybody but working class, particularly white males. So his country that he is speaking for has empathy for everybody but the working class, meaning people who work and pay taxes. That excludes welfare fucking cases and the super rich. But not only does he have no empathy for the working class, in particular, he names white males. So who is Alex Karp? Who is this fucking clown? Well, he's the CEO of Palantir. What is Palantir? Palantir is a corporation that spies on you and me. He looks white if you were to look at him with a glance. I'll just say he's a pale face. But coming from an Israeli, no surprises there. Folks, Israel and a large percentage of its Zionist population are becoming loudly anti-American, and they're attacking our nation from within our nation. Remember, he says our country. Really, our country has empathy for everybody but the working class, the producers, particularly white men who are producers. How very fascinating. It's funny that these unhappy Zionist scumbags are unhappy. They're like parasites that get unhappy when the host organism notices what the parasites are doing. I'm disgusted with these genocidal neocons and the claim to be superior to everybody else and that they're God's chosen people. Folks, the mask is coming off and we're seeing who these fucking people are. All we want to do is be free to live under our rules, our laws, our culture, our tradition, in our nation. And these fucking parasites show up. And they invite in more parasites. And then they attack us. Now, does that sound like a nice guy, this Alex Karp fuckstick? Oh, you think he's bad? You should hear some more shit that I uncovered today. Are you ready? An anti-white tirade came from a pile of shit op-ed bigoted sack of crap in the New York Times. Oh, it gets better. The guy's name is Wajahat Ali, and he's a Muslim of Pakistani descent. And he's a giant asshole. Now, why would I bring up these guys' names and their positions and who they are, point out that they're Israelis or Pakistanis or fucking Muslims or whatever? Because the proof is in what they're calling for and what their actions are. Destroy Europe, go to war, destroy America, kill white people, right? Get what this giant asshole says, right? He sees proof. This Wajahat Ali asshole. He sees proof that white Americans' days are numbered. He did a video on social media, and this is what Mr. Ali said. I want you to hear this quote, folks. Are you ready? And he's talking to white America. You have lost. You lost. The mistake that you made is you let us in the first place. He just admitted the whole fucking thing, and he gave us the fucking recipe to fix it. Well, if we lost, and the mistake was letting them in the first place, then the solution in order to win and not lose is to correct the mistake and kick them all out for fucking ever. Now, he said what he said. So I'm going to say this. Fortunately for Americans, you sack of shit, when the day comes, all anti-American fuckers are going to be gone, one way or another, east or west, right? The hubris coming from goat fucking retards is going to have to end. They cannot defeat us, folks. They will, however, by their own tongues and their own actions, create a white American protectionist state. And they will be sent back to their former countries, and they can eat rats and cook snakes, slow cooked, over a fire built burning cow shit. Because that's where these fucking people came from. I know Americans, folks. I don't give a shit what color they are. I know Americans. And these people are not Americans. Because all I keep hearing from them is how they're going to destroy us. It used to be SHTF, this obscure picture of violence and chaos and difficulty in this country. It was hard to see. It's becoming much more clear. just in the last few months, who the enemy is and what the solution is going to have to be. It's becoming very clear. And I feel bad for any person with melanin in their skin. I feel very bad for them because they're going to be looked at suspiciously. Are you one of those fucking people that hates whites? Because after enough white people get shot, beat, stabbed, beheaded, killed, raped, murdered, like is happening in Europe, the suspicion level is going to go way the fuck up. And folks, I got to tell you, the black conservatives out there, the black real Americans, the Hispanic real Americans are speaking up, and they're making me sound like a fucking choir boy. They're that pissed off at this shit. And can you blame them? Can you blame them? They know that it doesn't matter that they're not white, that they're going to be treated to the same bullshit. Oh, yeah, folks. It is coming. Now, I'm going to take us back to Europe, where they're having all kinds of problems. But there's countries that are fighting back. Are they not? Basically, Hungary and Slovakia. They do not like Viktor Orban of Hungary. And in Slovakia, well, that's where Fica, the leader there, was shot multiple times in an assassination attempt. Well, the Ukrainians, guess what they're doing? They're trying to blow up and destroy the Druzhba oil pipeline yet again. You know why? Because that pipeline brings energy to Hungary and Slovakia. And Hungary and Slovakia are against this bullshit genocidal war in Ukraine. They're also against allowing in all these fucked up immigrants from third world shitholes that eat rats and snakes and cook them over fires built with cow shit, right? Hungary and Slovakia are against this war. They're against NATO attacking Russia and dragging them in it. And so now those nations are targets, and Ukraine is the terrorist nation attack dog of NATO. They've been outed as blowing up the Nord Stream pipelines. That's right. They've got their, well, here it is again, a patsy. They said, this is the guy that blew up the Nord Stream pipelines. They bring us a Ukrainian person. In order to blow up those fucking pipelines, don't you need hundreds of pounds of explosives? Don't you need a boat large enough to carry all that? Don't you need navigation equipment to find the pipelines and to be right over the top of them? And then to lower your explosives, demolition charges down precisely where they need to be to destroy the pipeline? And then don't you have to have the sophisticated electronics and equipment to detonate these items? All of these things are true, folks. But one guy, right? Here's your fucking lone bomber bullshit, right? Ukraine is a terrorist nation attack dog for NATO. And anything NATO wants to do, they'll just blame on a Ukrainian. Yeah, Ukraine is going to take the blame for this, folks. This is transparently terrorist, and global conflict is going to result. The pressure cooker, my friends, is getting hotter, and the pressure and the anger is going up. It's up in, well, the United Kingdom. It's up on the European continent. It's up on Eastern European. The fucking Russians have had enough. Chinese, they're being rather quiet, don't you think? These fucking lunatics, my friends, are trying to start a war on every single level, including nuclear war, that these fucking European morons think they can win. Yep. Blowing up pipelines because that's how you solve problems. Well, they want to have a coup d'etat in America, right? Oh yeah. So yet again, we have more treason from another Democrat, another seditious sack of death-loving bullshit crap, right? Democrat Senator Mark Warner is calling for a military coup against President Trump. And he said the military should, quote, save us from this president. How can you interpret that any other way? How can this be interpreted in any other way except it is a public call from a political leader on the national level to undermine military loyalty for the president and also to use the military to arrest him? Trust me when I say the fucking pressure cooker is very, very hot. And there's a lot of pressure in it that cannot vent. The only venting function, my friends, is going to be when violence is unleashed. And they're calling for it, not me. I'm not calling for any violent action. I'm not calling for people to go up in arms. I'm not calling for people to threaten anybody. I'm not calling to genocide the Palestinians or genocide the Jews or genocide the Ukrainians or genocide the retards anywhere. No. I want to be free and I want to be left in peace. I'm sure you do as well. But look at what they're fucking doing. That is the whole point of this channel, is to show people what is happening and to tell everybody, get prepared. Because there's going to be nobody, and I mean nobody, on your side except those that you know. And by know, I mean know who they are. I know that once you go up above the prepared bunker and you take a look around, 4, 5, or 6 out of every fucking person I meet is going to be one of these diehard Democrat voting dumb fucks. And I'm going to have to protect myself and the other 4, 5, or 6 that are not dumb fucks from these fucking people. Fortunately, there are a lot of veterans around me, and I know most veterans are not dumb fucking communist fucks. Oh, but they're out there, and I will be wary of those that would turn against us. Just incredible to me. These people are calling to undermine the military's loyalty for the president, to undermine loyalty to the president in general, and to foment a military coup d'etat. Who would they put in there? Fucking Obama? Tim Walz? Kamala Harris? Who the fuck can they put in power and in charge? General Milley? Fucking Vanilli? That motherfucker? That guy? That treasonous sack of shit? Who are they going to put in? You can't name one Democrat that would be a good American, because they've all demonstrated they're not good Americans. Period. We thought as Americans that we would get a rootin' tootin' ass kicking fucking president who would go in there, no nonsense, as a businessman and fix all these problems that are political in nature by making sound business decisions. Sadly, Elon Musk is not an American-born citizen, and so he can't be president. He seems like he wants to fix problems. He's like, look at all this fraud I found. Look at all this fucking fraud. And he wanted to make arrests. And the next day, he was fucking fired. And the next day, he's in a fucking fight with the president. And the next time we see him, he's got a black fucking eye. Okay. So trying to get a businessman, one, won't work. And two, it won't fucking work, right? Well, for example, a businessman and president. This guy is both a businessman, CEO type guy, and the president of the Miss Universe Mexico. Right? There's an arrest warrant for him from Guatemala for leading a network, which means a cadre of fucking scumbag criminals who are involved in fuel theft, arms trafficking, and drug trafficking. Fuck, I'm surprised he's not the president of Mexico himself. He just happens to be president of the Miss Universe of Mexico. I find it amazing, and perhaps you do too, that CEO types have time, and energy, not only to do their regular corporate jobs and running beauty pageants like Trump, I guess, but they have time and energy to just commit huge crimes of such magnitude. Running a fucking drug cartel and a fuel stealing cartel and arms trafficking. I mean, imagine how much good these dumb motherfuckers could do if they weren't criminal. I mean, don't any of them have an ounce of fucking decency? I did name Elon Musk, right, who wants to arrest all these fuckers for fraud. And I'm glad that Guatemala, that's where the president, Bukele, said, if you want to clean up the problem, you have to impeach the corrupt judges. Right? Apparently, these CEOs don't have an ounce of decency any more than these fucking politicians do, percentage-wise. Maybe there's 1% out there that are decent. Well, I'm glad there's a Bukele, and I'm glad there's an Elon Musk. Where's the rest of them, right? Well, I'm glad Guatemala wants to arrest this asshole. Too bad in the United States of America, the Attorney General, Bondi Bimbo, and FBI Bug Eyes Patel don't want to arrest real criminals on Wall Street or in D.C. or anywhere. They want to come after little people like me and go, whoa, look, we made another arrest. We made another arrest. Oh, my goodness. We're the good guys now because we made an arrest. This is incredible. The FBI has now identified Brian Cole as the January 6th pipe bomber. Yes. Brian Cole is the person the FBI has in custody and who they believe left those pipe bombs in Washington, D.C. on January 5th back in 2021. Well, this is coming from NBC News. They reported it and said a senior law enforcement official gave them the news. I find this comically amusing. Isn't it funny? I find it very funny how after years and years, and just last week and a week before, a Ukraine and CIA sellout law enforcement sack of shit was exposed as the bomber. And then it went silent. And a few days later, Special Superman FBI Patel and his gang gave us the newest patsy on a silver platter. Oh, it's not that CIA official that fired the first shots on January 6th. Oh, no. Even though she met all of the criteria and was outed. No, that's not it. It's this other guy. Well, I guess the Ukrainian chick must be related to the traitor Ukrainian Vindeman, and she can't be sacrificed because she's a CIA asset. Essentially, I call bullshit, folks, on all of these fucking people. I call bullshit on them. All the way around. Maybe Kash Patel can arrest some other harmless old women and blame them for Charlie Kirk and JFK's assassinations too. I mean, hell, while he's at it, just start arresting people and blaming them for all the crimes. I know they could probably arrest some little old man in fucking Arkansas and blame him for all the naked short selling on Wall Street that is literally screwed average working Americans who are lucky enough to have a retirement portfolio that's getting robbed by these blind shorts. In other words, theft of trillions of dollars out of Wall Street and into the bankers' personal pockets. Yeah, let's have Kash Patel just solve all our problems, right? Fuck, folks. The corruption is out of fucking control. It's at the highest levels. We're learning who the players are. We're learning who the countries are. We're learning how our own government is absolutely fucking corrupt. And I'm going to finish my monologue and then turn the show over to you and your questions. Ooman is in the command chair for moderator and questionnaire in chief. He wants to take your questions, comments, and thoughts, and we'll do the monologue. Tomorrow is going to be Free for All Friday, and who knows what is going to turn up for that. But I want to end my monologue with this, letting you know that Venezuela is not a corrupt dictatorship under a communist named Maduro. Venezuela is a CIA, Mossad, deep state control center for controlling not only what they envision is theirs, but also the United States of America. Oh, the news is out, folks. How could the United States of America buy voting machine and programs for our elections that can be affected and controlled from Venezuela? Where was the other place? They get sent over and votes are counted in fucking some other screwball country. Well, Venezuela, folks, supposedly a communist dictatorship under the Maduro regime, is a CIA Mossad deep state control center. Or is it not? You get to decide. They're going to hide the fuck out of this, but a top Venezuelan official, who, by the way, is in prison here in America, is turning state's evidence on the voting machines and this drug war. The guy's name is Hugo Carvajal Barrios. He is a 3-star Venezuelan general. Oh, well, he was. And he was the director of their military intelligence. And from federal prison, he has issued his confession that validates and proves that President Trump and the United States of America should be very aggressive towards Venezuela and the Nicolas Maduro drug cartel, and turns out now voting machine, alleged voting machine fraud. So having seen all this, right, it kind of helps explain to me why Venezuela needs to have a regime change. But at the same time, regime change is exactly what the CIA loves. Maybe Maduro's getting out of hand and the CIA and Mossad can't control him or kill him, so they need to replace him, right? I mean, is this a deep state Uno card to make Trump replace Maduro for another deep state CIA Mossad puppet? We cannot know, because we are lied to, folks, at every fucking level. And the lie is different at every level. Who do you trust? Nobody. None of these fucking people. But I understand why Maduro has to go, but who are we going to get to replace him? Kind of like every time we go through an election, we think we're going to elect good people to fix the problems, and the problems just get worse. But the good part about social media, folks, and you telling people to watch these videos, sharing information with them, telling them to wake the fuck up, is having an effect. The more the wacko fucking mainstream media and the more the wacko leftists and the lying politicians and foreign fucking governments and intelligence services, the more they lie to us and show us who they are, the less we're listening to them. La, 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 la. I'm not listening to you fucking people. La, la, la. Right? Not going to do it. Not going to listen to you people. And who are we listening to instead? We're listening to private journalists, investigative journalists who are going out there and digging this information up. And instead of ignoring headlines that come across the wires, they're looking at these headlines and going, fucking Venezuelan dude is fucking outing all of these people? Unbelievable, folks. Absolutely unbelievable where this all is going to go. The nice part for me is I'm just a little guy. I'm nobody. But all of us together and all these networks, not just the Prepared Mind, but all these social media networks are causing people to wake up and listen to what Palantir says when they hate white people and critical race theory and diversity, equity, inclusion and environmental social governance and BLM and the nation of Israel and how they are not white, well, unless it's convenient, and they're pro-American unless it's time to reveal their hatred for this fucking country. Right? And how we want peace, but they all want war. How we want to be free, but they don't want that. How they want to replace good people with absolute shit. Replacement theory, that's a conspiracy theory. And it turns out, well, there's the fucking paper from the United Nations, replacement theory. Invite in a bunch of third world scumbags that fucking breed like rabbits and are filthy disease-ridden like rats. And then tell white people to cut your fucking genitals off and stop having kids because of pollution that you're causing. When you go look at these third world countries, how they fill their rivers with sewage and garbage, their fucking IQs are down at the fucking retard level, literally. They rape, kill, steal on command from their bosses. And we're supposed to believe that our government's here to help us. Unfucking believable, folks. Every day it gets crazier and crazier. But they want to tell you and me that we're the crazy ones. You're crazy for noticing. You're crazy for seeing patterns. You're crazy because your conspiracy theories are all true. And you believed them before you knew they were true, so that must make you crazy. No, we figured it out. Have you figured it out? I want to hear what you think now. Woo! Unbelievable world we live in. Yes? No? Maybe so? Let me know. Mr. Uman, who do you want to invite up on first? Well, it's Uman. And he has, Fox News, a.k.a. faux news, meaning bullshit news. Fox News is reporting the Washington pipe bomber suspect was named this afternoon. Here it is. Allegedly, his name is Brian Cole. He's from Virginia. And he had pro-anarchist ideology. No further info yet. Isn't that interesting? Like I said when I was talking about this, fascinating. Let's see. January of 21. So now it's 22, 23, 24, 25. Almost January 26, 5 years later. And only after they named that bitch of a cop who's now a CIA stooge who's from Ukraine. I wonder if she was even legal. Probably was, probably smuggled in. She just drops out of the headlines and they dump Brian Cole on us. They find some pro-anarchist, ideological left-wing nut who happens to kind of fit the profile photos, maybe, doesn't matter. The mainstream media is going to be like, yep, case closed, nothing to look at here. That's it. We got our Patsy. We're done. The world is safe again. Thank you, Kash Patel. Thank you, Pam Bondi. Thank you, Dan Bongina. Jesus. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. The timing is too fucking convenient. Kind of like when we, you and I, all of us, discovered back during Trump's first term, the whole pizza and hot dogs, the whole Comet ping pong, the whole Epstein connection, the whole political connection, the entire industry of entertainment and music connection to all this pedophilia. It was all exposed. And, well, they had to shut it down and tell us we don't really know what we're talking about. They threw a couple patsies out there, ultimately arrested Epstein and said, you got too much on you, man. Got too much on you. Don't worry. They faked his death. He got out. He's probably drawing up plans for a new luxury seaside apartment in the coming Gaza beach strip. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I have no evidence, but it wouldn't surprise me if Jeffrey Epstein isn't in Israel right now, probably being supplied with underage girls, planning his next relaxing because, hey, don't worry. All of his files are safe. They're probably in the CIA and FBI's hands, and they can control all of these politicians. These are a bunch of sick fucking people. And what's incredible is the resources they have at their fingertips. Punch a button here, steal some money. Punch a button here, have their political enemies killed. Punch a button over here, serve up a nice 12-year-old girl. Punch a button here, like Obama does, allegedly, and punch up a nice, 12-year-old boy. I don't know. I mean, that's what people are alleging, that these people are so powerful they can do what they want. Well, the evidence is they're still in power, so perhaps they can. All right, Mr. Uman, thank you much. Don't worry, since we're all just a bunch of conspiracy theorists. Nothing to be done here. Nothing to see. Nothing to worry about. Wow. All right, Uman, who wants to step up next, if you will? And it's Mr. Diving Frog. Oh, here we go. John, Tyson Foods. Okay, Tyson Chicken, that's their big one, right? Is closing its Nebraska plant, wiping out an entire town. And, they're believed to be manipulating the beef market. Our food, folks. It's my understanding that BlackRock has controlling interest in the entire meatpacking industry by taking everyone's investments and putting them in BlackRock so they can manage it for everyone. BlackRock takes the American people's money, investors' money, and then they hold it and use it to own companies and then tell those companies what's going on. They've already told us how they do it. They told us, if you do not change your company's policy to environmental social governance, to diversity, equity, inclusion, that is to say, hire LGBTQ pedophiles, transgenders, fruitcakes, right? Then we'll sell your stock and crash your fucking company. I've been watching very closely lately, folks, how Wall Street it goes out and short sells companies, causes the prices to crash, and then they buy back. And they own the company this much. And then as the price comes up, they short sell a bunch, cause the price to drop, and then they buy more. And then the price slowly comes back up from regular investment. And then they short sell the shit out of it, crash the company so they can buy more stock and more stock and more stock and more stock cheap. They're buying up companies cheap, and then they can control them. And guess what? The Security and Exchange Commission, the very foundation of regulatory authority from the federal government to stop this from fucking happening, guess what they did? They came out today and said, we're going to postpone the requirement until 2028 that any company, corporation, etc., is short selling. You don't have to register or tell us what you're doing. In other words, they can anonymously continue to ass fuck this entire country so they can control it. We can get all the way to 2028 and they can do it again. If they don't own enough of the fucking world, they'll just do it again. Oh, we're going to postpone it till 2030, 2040, forever. They don't give, they're fucking cheating, lying, thieving scum. You can guess the mentality, folks. They don't have enough. It just kind of reminds me of that scene. And I thought it was bad back when I watched it. The movie was Wall Street with Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen. Charlie got sick of seeing the fucking greed. And he asked this question of Gordon Gekko, the antagonist of the movie, who was he would buy up companies and fucking enrich himself and destroy the companies. Who gives a fuck, right? He says, how many yachts can you ski behind? Right? How many houses can you live in? Now, me personally, I've got nothing wrong with people who are successful. No problem. I'm not a fucking communist or a fucking socialist. But the question's real. How much do you have to own and control before you'll leave people alone and let businesses run naturally? Let people live their lives without being dominated, controlled, and dictated to. Whether they're in corporations or in fucking government, it's the same mentality to fuck us all over. But it never works, folks. It never has a good ending. It never has. And it never will. That type of mentality, human nature of these uber powerful assholes, is always to strangle the golden goose, to be a parasite that lives off its host until it vanquishes it to death by sucking all the life essence out of it. That's what they're doing right now. So back to this one. Tyson Foods. They don't give a shit. They'll destroy everybody. I watched the same thing in the timber industry on the West Coast, folks. The entire Sierra Nevada mountain range in California created jobs and wealth for all the people who lived in the foothills, in the timber industry, harvesting timber, taking it to local mills. It supported the towns, it supported the people, trucking, logging, all the businesses that supported it. They fucking wiped it all out by killing the timber industry to save old growth forests so that the spotted owl had someplace to live. Fast forward 30 fucking years when I was living in California before I left, and Governor Newsom is letting millions of fucking acres burn to destroy towns that were, well, most of them are already destroyed. Population's gone, mills shut down, and then they just fucking let the forest burn. They don't give a fuck. They're like, well, we like burning shit. Let's burn down fucking Los Angeles next. See where I'm getting at? It's destroy, destroy, destroy. And then they're going to rule over the ashes. Hello, Roman Empire. Anybody home? Woo! Mikey G. After a point, the money is secondary. Control and power is everything. Money. Gold and silver is money. Gold and silver is money. Paper is currency. Currency can buy money. Currency can buy goods. Right? They want to control the means of living, right, by controlling the money, and they convert it into paper currency. And now they want to make electronic currency. I want to just make a distinction, Mikey, between money and currency. Silver and gold is money. It even says so in this funny thing called the Constitution. They stole our money from us, folks. A silver dollar used to be 1 ounce. Now a fucking silver dollar will buy you about $55 to $60, depending on whatever the daily market price is, and it's just going to go up. You used to be able to take a note in, a $20 bill, and they would give you 1 ounce of gold. That gold is now worth $4,200, $4,250. Well, plus premium. Let's just call it $4,500. $20 to $4,500. What they've done is they've destroyed the purchasing power of the money and instead give us currency. And now they're going to go to a digital currency. Oh, it's going to be the Genius Act. It's going to be the smart coins, right? The stable coins. That means it's safe. It's stable. Well, just like they took our paper money and said 2% inflation's our goal. That'll make it stable. Losing 2% a year is why a $1 piece of silver is now worth $60, and a $20 gold piece, well, it's now $4,500 if you want to buy it. Yeah, they've taken the wealth. You see, this right here is representative of my labor, or your labor, or anyone's labor. We all work hard, and here's some money. So you can exchange money for things that you can't make or get for yourself, and other people can get and give to you. They want to control all that. They've taken our money. They want to get rid of cash so they can, as you point out, control and power. You take the money so they get the fucking power. And then they control everything. That's what they're trying to do. Remember what they said just a couple years ago. You will own nothing and be happy. What did that fucking bitch Marie Antoinette say? Let them eat cake. She wasn't talking about a delicious fucking dessert. Cake is the built up fucking sludge and crust and carbon on the inside of wood burning stoves. because that's how they used to bake back when Marie Antoinette was queen of France. You open up your oven and you fucking put wood in there and get it nice and hot and get a bunch of coals and you put your food in the oven and bake it and it boils over and it makes fucking smoke and, well, it lines the stove with cake. Let them eat cake. In other words, let them eat ash. Once again, they're going to give us fucking ash. They're going to rule over the ashes and probably tell you what you can eat on that too. That's too good for you, right? Unbelievable. And these fucks that come to our country, where they were eating rats and they're eating fucking snakes. These worthless fucks come here, eat our food and bitch about it, but they're going to be returned. Whether we return them to their country or we get destroyed, they're going to end up eating fucking bats, rats, and snakes again. And they're used to it because that's what these people are going to do. These people that have taken our money and want to control and destroy everything. Am I wrong? Right? This isn't about scaring people. It's about informing you what our fucking so-called rulers, our elites, want to do to us. And it's crazy. If you watch any of the European Union stuff, that fucking bitch that's in charge of that, what's her name? Fucking Ursula von der Leyen? Absolute total cunt. Sits there in her desk. And the politicians, men and women that have the guts to tell her what they think of her to her face. And she just sits there and listens to it. They'll tell her how she's ruining Europe and destroying culture and causing children to be fucking raped and people to be murdered. And she just sits there, Ursula the bitch. No problem. I don't give a fuck what you think because they're just going to keep destroying shit. She's not elected, yet she has massive amounts of power to destroy their entire continent. They'll rule over the ashes, folks. They don't give a fuck. Watch the movie Elysium. The whole fucking planet is destroyed, but they're living like gods in this place called Elysium, which means heaven, by the way. And it's a giant spaceship up in heaven or in space or whatever, where they live in perfect health, perfect fucking health, and eating perfect food, while the rest of humanity lives on fucking ashes and dirt. Let's continue if we shall. Interesting movie. Not going to win any awards, but it certainly makes the fucking point. Mr. Uman, what are we going to discuss next? And it's not about Lynn. While most of us are focused on a few ethnicities, we're forgetting all the Pakistanis, people from India that are running companies and cities. Oh, I haven't forgot a fucking bit about those people. Right? They're laughing at us as they come into the country, then call and have their friends and family brought in. They apply for jobs they're not qualified for with bullshit degrees. They take welfare money. They fucking clog the highways. They're causing housing to go up. And Americans are getting shit jobs. They hire only people from their culture. And then like this one fuckstick that I read earlier, he's like, you let us in the first place. They don't give a fuck about white people. They don't give a fuck about black people that think like white people that love America. They don't give a fuck about Hispanics that think like white people that love America. In fact, this whole idea of whiteness is law and order, civilization, and leave us the fuck alone. We want freedom. Doesn't matter what color. See, that's whiteness. Just like they can look at a black guy, black woman, who is a conservative, a Republican, an American, who stands up and says, I'm sick of this shit, right? I'm tired of our country being ruined. They call them white supremacists. So if I ever say anything that appears to be anti-black or anti-Hispanic or anti-Asian or appears to be white skin only, I'm speaking about people, all colors who want liberty and freedom, their fucking rights, their country left alone and not be destroyed. Right? You're in the same boat as us. Right? Everything else is just skin color and looks. But whiteness is wanting to be free, to own and keep what you have earned, and to live your life without being assaulted intellectually, spiritually, by these fucking maniacs obsessed with death. Oh, boy, I tell you, I don't know where all this stuff comes in my head. Holy shit, ooh, man. Okay, the myth is with a vampire, which is a parasite that lives off its host by drinking its life essence. Sounds like government. Sounds like a certain type of people, right? You have to invite them into your home. A vampire cannot come into your house and attack you and your family unless you invite them in. But once you invite them in, they can come back anytime they want. So let's apply this on a national level. We had our country. And what did we do? Not we as in me and you, but the fuckheads in DC. They invited these vampires, these parasites, into our house, our home, our country. And what do? They attack us, and they live off of our essence, our life essence, the blood and sweat of America. Look, folks, Somalia was a colony of some European nation. And they came in and they built cities, they built roads, bridges and tunnels. They started agriculture, power, mining, right? Civilization. Then they left. The white people got chased off. They got tired of the bullshit from these ungrateful fucking retards in Somalia, who, by the way, are retarded. Who, I believe it's 80% of them, are grossly, and by grossly, I mean just obscenely inbred. IQs, they're retards. All their countries have done is go back down. Absolutely down. They don't create. They don't thrive. These fucking people didn't even have the fucking wheel when Europeans found them. They don't have a written language. They didn't have mathematics. They don't know how to build anything apart from stacking shit and mud to build walls and crude roofs on their houses. And they're going right back down to that. And we need these fucking people in our country? It's diversity is our strength. Diversity is fucking parasitic. Diversity is destructive. Shit has hit the fan, folks, and we're learning and seeing and understanding who the vampires are. The poor vampires from these shithole countries and the super wealthy vampires. How do you destroy vampires? Well, a stake through the heart. Silver bullet does it too. Silver bullet. Anyways, folks, what I want everyone to do is understand what's happening, understand the cause, because we're going to have to administer the cure. It's not going to be easy. These people aren't going to go, oh, thanks, man. I never understood. Now that you've explained it to us, all of you Americans explained it. Now we get it. Yeah, we're going to assimilate. We're going to stop inbreeding. We're going to stop stealing. We're going to be productive. We're going to get jobs and actually create and invent things. Yeah, well, we seen a wheel. We get it. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. They will destroy everything so they can rule over the ashes. Same mentality down here with these fucking inbred fucks, and same with the ones at the very top, who are also, by the way, a bunch of inbred fucks who always bred back into their own families for the purpose of controlling their wealth. These vampires control their wealth, inbreeding, and it creates destruction. We live in interesting times, my friends, my countrymen, and chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi. God bless America. Get ready for what's coming.
Ho, 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 ho.